or every, then use it a bigger chunk size, then definitely you can see that what happened is the overload of the CPU going down. And then you can do all the other software functionalities that you want, such like the IPBBX or the call center software and stuff like this. Your CPU will be free to do other things. So basically, using the methodology of a flexible chunk size enables you more resources to be free for your CPU to do the application that you want. So what we basically do, we take away the burden of the CPU for you. So you guys basically just focus on your application. This is a high density board. It's a 8E1 board. So basically 8 times 30, 256 calls that you can do with the Echo Counselor. We always say that we are often copied but never duplicated, because we are using a different software methodology. We're using this one-pipe methodology. And because we are using that, we are able to even go further and increase the density. So we will be coming now very, very soon with a 16 E1 channel, 16 channels of E1 on a single card. And that's exactly the reason why we can do it was exactly shown in the former slides. So you can scale up, and for example, with just 2 cards, 2 single cards, you can do almost 1,000 calls. You can do 1,000 calls, and your CPU will be free to do all this handling of the high-level application. This is the highest density board in the market. Again, as a result of using that methodology of the chunk size. SS7, and how does it relate to our case? There are a lot of open source library available for SS7. And open source can be used in many applications. I've run into many applications like LibChain, SS7 that are used in mobile VAS, value-added services, especially in India. India is a market that has a lot of value-added services. And when SS7, just for those who don't know, is basically the signaling channel inside the network, in the TDM network. And when it's terminated, you need an SS7 gateway to translate it to SIP, so to go to the IP. Open source is good for simple applications where robustness is not something that is necessary. So if you guys need to develop something which is doesn't need to be robust, use the open source and don't spend your money. But if you're looking to a solution that needs to be what we call must-work solution, that needs to be 24/7, that cannot fail, then basically you need to use an SS7. You need to use an SS7 supplier, SS7 software that is for mission-critical application. So here the open source is still not developed. We also hope at Sangoma that this will be worked by the community and by people who are dealing with this to have a more robust solution. But in the meantime, there is no such. So to help facilitate the SS7 business and help grow this the SS7 to SIP market, Sangoma is offering what we call an SS7 VoIP gateway, which you can see here, and basically can provide you from 4 up to 32 E1s on a single SS7 gateway. And actually you can even relay, you can connect up to 8 boxes together. So with 8 boxes you can reach 256, 32 times 8, 256 E1s. If you think about it, 2056, it's 8,000 calls. This is an interesting diagram for those guys who are more technical or are interested in how this S7 is working. So this is a mobile value-added services that is called CRBT, called ringback tone. So basically what happens is if you call somebody, you will not hear the regular dial tone, but you hear a song or some music until the other side is answering you. So how this is actually working? It is working with this S7 box. So if you look at the numbers, at the first, you have a call ringback tone subscriber, which is tagged in the call forward not reachable here. And basically, the details are kept. So that means that if a certain number will call you, then the call, that's number 2, the call will come here and then will be forwarded to this server, will actually recognize that this number is calling me, and now this number that is calling me is supposed to hear some music. So basically, the server, the information will go to the server. It will not go to the subscriber that's supposed to answer it. It will go to the server, and from the server it will go to the subscriber. So the server will play the music to the subscriber. And all of this is done through this SS7. So you basically, you can see here, this is SS7 only signaling. This is the SS7 as well. So basically, even a simple application like call ringback tone needs to have SS7. So SS7 is something very essential for this kind of market. And value-added services, I mentioned India, but I know also in Vietnam there are quite a lot of it. So when you use value-added services, remember, SS7 is a critical part of it. Transcoding. Transcoding is another product that helps you basically to release resources from your CPU. What is transcoding? We mentioned before that there are certain codecs for voice over IP, the G711, G729, G723. So think about all these vocoders as languages. One of us is speaking English, the other one is speaking Vietnamese, the other guy is speaking Spanish, the other guy is speaking Chinese. So, but if we want to communicate with each other, it's either we have those headsets right now that you are using, or one of us need to learn the other guy's language. But if we don't have a common language, we need those headsets. And that's what you guys are wearing right now. Those, I don't speak Vietnamese, so when I need to listen to a Vietnamese lecture, I would put those headsets. So this headset is basically somebody who's helping you to translate. In the language of voice over IP, we call it transcoding. Change it from one vocoder to another vocoder. In the old times, this vocoder was done by software.